Good evening. I'm speaking to you from the ringside at the giant Astrodome in Houston, Texas. The Astrodome, which is known in these parts as the 8th wonder of the world. Well, tonight it's the scene of the World Boxing Council Featherweight Championship between the holder, Salvador Sanchez of Mexico, who tonight makes his 7th defense of the title in the last 22 months, against the British champion, Pat Cowdell, who's ranked the number 6 contender for the title. And Sanchez tonight starts a warm favourite to keep his title.
And Cowdell, the British champion, is the first to leave the dressing rooms and make his way to the ringside, escorted by the burly figure of his manager, Ron Gray. Cowdell, 28, winner of 3 British featherweight championship fights, the outright holder of a Lonsdale belt, but this certainly the biggest occasion in his young life, and the biggest occasion since the night in Montreal in 1976, when he fought the Olympic semi-final and lost to the eventual winner, the North Korean young man called Gu. And nobody seems quite certain at this point, Mickey Duff, Ron Gray, or Cowdell himself, quite where the steps are to get into the ring. Cowdell, 28 years old, 21 pro fights, 19 wins, 2 defeats, and with a really tough job on his hands here tonight against this world champion. And the champion makes his way to the ring in the middle of an excited huddle of supporters and handlers. 22 years old, that's all he is, Sanchez, and tonight makes his 7th defense of this title. Cowdell weighed in today 8'13 1/4, 3/4 of a pound lighter than the champion. Sanchez has been thought for some time to be having difficulty making this weight, and in fact he had a test weigh some 15 minutes before the weigh-in today, and then came in right on the 9-stone limit. But he's been having trouble for some time, and it hasn't seemed yet to affect his form. Already 6 successful defenses of the title. He only won the title back in February 1980, just a few days after his 21st birthday, so he's made all those defenses successfully in just under 2 years. Remarkable record. This is his 44th fight tonight, Sanchez, and Cowdell's 22nd. So Cowdell's had just about half the professional fighting experience of Sanchez. Scheduled for 15 rounds. Cowdell shapes up confidently enough. One worry in the camp, of course, will be about his eyes, because he is vulnerable around both eyes, and he has been cut in his last 2 fights. Sanchez, of course, has got all the support here in the Astrodome at Houston. Houston, Texas has a large Mexican population anyway, and the Mexicans, in any case, don't have too far to come across the border into Texas. Both men standing feet wide apart. So this could be a very interesting battle between 2 good boxers. Cowdell was well covered up against it. Seconds from the end of the first round. Cowdell's worked well behind the jab in this opening round, and he's planted his left quite frequently into the face of Sanchez, but Sanchez has done more work. So I would think that Sanchez will very very likely get the nod from the judges on that one. The referee is Steve Crossan, and then there are 3 judges sitting outside the ring to score the fight. Scheduled for 15 rounds. Cowdell, the British champion, in the white shorts, red, white and blue stripe. Cowdell hasn't lost a fight since September '79, and he didn't lose too often as an amateur either. He's never fought for the European Championship, Cowdell, and in fact, in his 4-year professional career, he's never really had too many big chances. Sanchez keen to open it up a bit. Cowdell keeping his elbows tucked in, taking most of those punches on the arms. Sanchez is regarded by some experts in this country as one of the outstanding champions of the current period. And of course he took the title from a good man, Danny Lopez of the United States, and his most recent defense was against Wilfredo Gomez, the WBC light featherweight champion, and he stopped Gomez in 8 rounds in August this year in Las Vegas, and that was a formidable performance from Sanchez. Cowdell obviously trying to get in quickly with the left jab and then retreat from the counter-attack. And he left himself open there, Cowdell, and he caught a right hand. I wouldn't have thought he'd want to get too involved in those sort of bouts of infighting. He might not come off better at those. So a little flurry of activity there towards the end of the second round, which was a fairly even round. Plenty of good work done on both sides. Cowdell has only been beaten twice. One of those defeats came about because of an injury to an eye, and the other was the disputed decision that went against him the first time he fought for the British title against David Needham. But of course after that he had revenge twice. Cowdell hasn't had a title fight since May 1980, when he defended against the former champion Dave Needham and forced Needham out in 12 rounds and made the Lonsdale belt his own property, and did it in record time. Cowdell's doing good work with the jab. He's not hurting Sanchez with it, but he's getting it through pretty often. Here's a very confident-looking champion, Salvador Sanchez, the little assassin. So after 3 rounds, very, very little in it indeed. And they look suspiciously like kidney punches to me from Sanchez, right round the back. And he's hitting and holding, and also hitting low, and told about it by Steve Crossan, the referee. He comes from Dallas, not far away from Houston. And he's putting another one of those behind, and he's getting told about it this time. That's the first time he's been cautioned about it. There's no doubt at all that he was hitting to the kidneys. 4th round. Cowdell's beginning to look confident, opening up. Whether that's wise, I'm not sure. Anyway, he's done enough already, I would think, to prove to Sanchez that he's got no easy opponent here. It's now very much the left jab of Cowdell against the right to the kidneys from Sanchez. Left hook from Cowdell as well. Boxing well. He's taking the action away from Sanchez. Crowd's gone very quiet. It's the best round Cowdell's had. And Sanchez has got a lace undone. And Cowdell very sportingly stepped away, saw the trouble that Sanchez was in. He was liable to trip himself up, and he stood away and let Sanchez go to the floor. Again, one right round the back from Sanchez. Got away with it. It was a good round for Cowdell. So Cowdell, the British champion, has proved that his boxing ability here can at times make Sanchez look a little slow and a little cumbersome. And certainly the left jab and occasionally the right clip to the head paid real dividends in that round. And Sanchez at times wasn't too sure what was going on. Cowdell's been out here about 2 weeks getting ready for this fight. And certainly, by the look of him, has done his work well. I can't pick between them at the moment. I've got them dead level after the first 5 rounds. Interesting, of course, that Sanchez came in dead on the limit today and was clearly worried about his weight because he made a little trip down to the scales some 15 or 20 minutes before the official time for the weigh-in and had an almost private test weigh. Completely stripped, and then came in to the official weigh-in and stripped off completely and then only just made it. If he is having serious weight problems and this fight goes at some considerable pace for the full distance, then he might have trouble getting through it. Anyway, that's all speculation. 6 rounds completed, and Cowdell is certainly holding his own. And I make it now that Sanchez has moved out into a slight lead. 7th round was slightly better for Sanchez than for Cowdell, in my opinion. But it's still extremely close. And you get the feeling that we've got it all to see yet. And it's been planned beautifully by the Cowdell camp. He's done most of it right. Used that left jab very cleverly. Tried to keep the man off. Kept his eyes out of trouble. And certainly carrying the flag nobly for Britain. He must have stuck that left jab into Sanchez's face 100 times. And I suspect there's a good deal of respect on either side now between these two men, because they know they're well matched. So we're now more than halfway through this WBC Featherweight Championship. Sanchez defending the title for the 7th time. A man who's lost only once in 6.5 years as a professional. Started his professional career at the age of 16. Now 22. 6 years younger than the British champion. Sanchez, in fact, trained as a medical student and at one time was destined to be a doctor before boxing began to interest him more. scurries away, not anxious to take too much more of that. Twice there, Sanchez punching, had a much more firm feel about it than Cowdell's, even from here. But again, Cowdell comes back with that beautiful left hand, which has given Sanchez so much trouble, but the right now catches Cowdell on the head. And Cowdell is cut, right eye. At last, it's happened, and that's a sad thing for Cowdell. 9th round, and Cowdell has a cut along his right eyebrow. Well, those eyes held up well for a long time. Now that's a serious handicap for him at this stage of the fight. And almost certainly done by a punch. I would think. I saw no clash of heads. Sanchez has opened up considerably in this round, and it's paid dividends for him, and he can see it written in the blood on Cowdell's face. And the right hand of Sanchez now coming across and catching Cowdell on the left-hand side of his head again. And Cowdell being forced to get close and fight rather than stand off and box. Sanchez's face now set in a very confident look. The British champion's eye begins to bleed a little more. And he'll be back for urgent repairs now to Fred Wolfendale and Danny Holland, of course. Danny Holland, whom they brought over here, the old cut man who used to tend to all Henry Cooper's troubles. And you couldn't have a better man in that corner when you've got this sort of trouble. Swab stick goes in. The adrenaline on the swab stick to staunch the bleeding. The referee comes across to have a look at it. And somebody is saying one more. Cowdell himself saying it's okay as we watch a bit of action replay. And he got himself into considerable trouble there, Cowdell, in that round. But he wants to go on. But the referee, I think, has said something like, if that cut gets any worse, I'm going to have to stop it. So these now are desperate moments indeed for the British champion, who fought so well over the first 8 rounds, and there was nothing in it. Danny Holland's work has sealed the bleeding. Sanchez doing his best to open it again. Cowdell needs that left jab now desperately to keep this champion away from him and to keep him from doing further damage. But of course the going gets harder for Cowdell, knowing that he has to protect that injury. And opening up is no longer so easy as it was. Protection becomes almost as important as attack. Well, still a good round for Cowdell, considering the handicap under which he's now boxing. And he's not been loath to take this fight again to Sanchez and give him some bother with the left hand. One thing Cowdell really lacks, of course, is the decisive punch. And if he had that, then things might have been considerably different. But he's got through the 10th safely enough with the cut. And that corner will be pleased about that. Well, I've got Sanchez a little in front, but not by any great margin, and certainly not a decisive margin at this stage. 2/3 of the way through. And again, Sanchez tries that slashing downward, chopping right hand. Cowdell keeps the center of the ring and lets the champion circle him. Cowdell's punches tend to come singly, although he has clipped his man with rights occasionally. Sanchez puts together these neat little combination punches, and they catch the judge's eyes.
Push forward, son. Push him back.
And Cowdell's eye bleeds again, rather badly this time, the right eye again. One thing Sanchez has abandoned, and that's those right hands round behind the body. In fact, he's working very much now, as you would expect, to Cowdell's head, whereas earlier in the fight he was aiming mostly for the body.
Good job, Pat.
Pace has increased again in this 11th round. Cowdell has gone with it. He's done his share of the work. Most of these rounds have been extremely close. There hasn't been a round yet where you would really say that one man entirely dominated the other. Not even the one where Cowdell got cut. Sanchez sets up a big attack now before the bell to end the 11th, and did enough to swing the round.
If you want to win, he's got to do a bit more work.
That's it.
Pat, if you want to lose on points, you're doing fine. If you want to win, you've got to do a bit more work. Same style, more work.
And you heard for yourself there, I think it was Mickey Duff, who's now Cowdell's international agent, and got him this fight here in Houston. Mickey Duff saying same style, but more work. And that about sums it up, because as I was saying in the previous round, it's been noticeable that Sanchez has just always done that little bit more when he puts the combination punches together. And they're going now. Must be getting hard for these two. They've gone at a fair pace for 11 rounds. And the concentration has been intense on both sides. And now they both know that they're coming to the crux of the fight. And Sanchez is opening up in such a way as to threaten to finish it here and now if he can. Good punches from Cowdell. He's taken a few and he's given a few in this round. And always these two have boxed beautifully. It's never been wild stuff. Everything's been measured and considered. It's been style all the way. And Cowdell's eye looks worse again. The fury of the exchanges have brought more blood from that eye. And the going's getting hard for the British champion, but he's still sticking in there and giving the world champion a good, hard fight. It's been a tough round for Cowdell, but in its way it's been a marvellous one for him, because he's been under a lot of pressure. The eyes bled considerably, and he's always come fighting back, no matter how hard the going got.
Beautiful round.
Now, I don't know whether that corner is preparing to pull Cowdell out of this. I keep hearing the expression one more round. And of course, we've got 3 to go. There's no doubt at all that Cowdell's corner will protect him from serious injury. And if they see any signs that that cut is going to get much worse, then they will have him out of it. And rightly so. 30. Howard Winston, of course, the Welshman, was the last British boxer to hold the world featherweight title, or at least one version of it. Hogan Bassey held it in the late 1950s, but of course wasn't born in this country, or in the United Kingdom, rather. And Jim Driscoll, the Welshman, way back, had unofficial recognition as world featherweight champion back in 1909. So Britain has not had great world success at this weight, but Cowdell tonight has really upheld the best traditions of British boxing in Texas. Sanchez supporters now roaring for their man to finish it. Cowdell is not finished. Well, what a marvellous finish to the round from Cowdell. Taking the fight to Sanchez at the bell. Still coming at him, despite the trouble he's having. Danny Holland working harder to keep that cut close.
You've got it in your hands to win it. A couple of good rounds,
but it keeps on opening up.
You've got it in your hands to win it. Give it a deep breath. Don't go silly, but pick your opportunities. You see a chance, throw it, but it's a matter of points now.
So 2 rounds to go. And a lot of confidence and a lot of cheerfulness in the Cowdell camp. Clearly thinking there that the man's got a chance of taking this decision. Not too sure about that myself. I don't think there's a great deal in it, but I think Sanchez is out in front. And although Cowdell has fought a marvellously courageous and skillful fight, I wouldn't have thought he's done enough to justify the judges giving him the decision. But we shall see. There's still 2 rounds to go. And still the action is fast and furious and skillful as we near the end. Cowdell's short, saturated with the water. It's been slung over him. Cowdell was told before this round to give it a go in the last 2. You might yet pinch the verdict, and he's giving it a go. The last man to take Sanchez the distance in a title fight was Juan Laporte in El Paso in Texas in December last year. one thing has become clear in this fight. Sanchez has never allowed himself to go full out all the time. And one still wonders whether he really does have serious weight problems, and he can't afford really to expend too much energy for long periods. He certainly conserved himself. He's paced himself very well, Sanchez. It does lead you to think that he might be feeling the struggle to make 9 stone. Been a good round for Cowdell. And there's blood on the right cheek of Sanchez, but it may have smeared itself from Cowdell's face. Well, that was a good round for the British champion. So, even in these late stages, and even with the handicap of the right eye, Cowdell is still taking the fight to Sanchez.
Try and win this round, mate, but don't get careless. Try and win it, mate, without getting careless. You've done marvellous. Everybody's proud of you. Now try and win this round.
This is Mickey Duff talking to Cowdell in the corner. Everyone is proud of you, and I would agree with that. They can afford to squander everything now. Cowdell's mouth cut. None of that will worry him at this stage now. It's all about getting in there now and trying to win the last round. This crowd in this vast Astrodome in Houston, Texas, roaring the pair of them home. Oh, what a big right hand from Sanchez. What a punch to pull out of the bag near the end of a fight like this. Cowdell has fought the fight of his life, way above anything he's ever done before. Brought talent and courage to Houston and opened a few people's eyes and surprised a lot of American experts. And I think Cowdell is cut on the other eye now as well. All caution to the winds, of course, in these last 3 minutes. It looks as though he's got blood from the left eye now as well as the right. He's going to finish with both eyes cut. The marks of battle all over him. But what a fight he's put up. And he is rather badly cut on the left eye now as well. Half a minute left. He's put everything into this last round, but Sanchez has found him with 1 or 2 good punches, and it might have been that big right that opened the cut on the left eye. And again, and he's got Cowdell at the very finish. 20 seconds to go, and a right hand finds the British champion. Can he beat the count? 13 seconds to go. He's up, but only just up in time. 8 seconds to go. Caught at the finish by a big right hand. What an astonishing finish. There's the bell to end it. And if there was any doubt about the result, that final right hand put it all aside. What an astonishing thing to happen at the finish. Cowdell threw caution to the winds, got his other eye cut, left himself open to the big right hand at the finish, and found himself on the floor for the only time in the fight with just 20 seconds to go. And Sanchez stands in the ring and acclaims victory. That was the punch that put it beyond all possible doubt. What an amazing finish to this fight. And what a good right hand that was. He threatened it once before earlier, which I think cut Cowdell's left eye. And Cowdell only just made it to his feet in time. He only just about beat the count. Sanchez is the winner. Sounded to me like a split decision. Difficult to hear the MC on this public address system here, but I think it was a split decision.
Pat, that was a tremendous performance. Well done. How are you feeling?
Well, I want you to win so much, Harry. You know, it meant the world to me to win. And I said that before the fight I was going to give 100%. And I think I went out there and gave 110%, Harry.
You did that. Now, you got your eye cut in the 9th round. How badly did that affect you?
Well, I knew that Danny Holland was in the corner and he was a very good cut man. But when the referee came over and said, I'll give it one more round, I got a bit worried. But I managed to keep on boxing, Harry.
Well, you boxed well all the way through, but you were having a real go in the last round. Now, that presumably led you into the right hand that put you down.
Well, my corner told me I could go out there and box like I was doing and lose the fight. Or go out there and get stuck in another go, really try and take the fight to him and win it. And that's what I did, Harry. You know, I'm sure I haven't lost nobody down back home. I went out there and I tried to take it from him.
You haven't let anybody down, Pat. You've stood up wonderfully for British boxing out here, and you've given everybody a tremendous thrill here, and you've shaken a few people.
Well, as I say, Harry, nobody back home gave me any chance at all when I came over there, and there was no pressure on me. I just came out to do the best I could.
When it ended, did you feel that you might have got the verdict?
No.
It was a split decision, you know. One judge voted for him.
Yeah, but I think the knockdown in the last round gave it to Sanchez. But as I've said, Harry, I've got no regrets. If it would have been the last round again now, I'd go out there and try and win. I wouldn't like to just stay in there and just go the distance. You know, I came here to win, Harry, and that's what I tried to do for all the people back home.
Now, if it could be arranged for Sanchez to come to Britain and defend it, would you take him on again?
Yes, I think so, Harry. I think I'd have a very good chance. I thought I had a good chance this time myself, although nobody gave me a chance when I came out here. And I think it'll make a lot of people back home sit up and notice that Pat Cowdell has got a little bit of ability.
You've got more than a little bit of ability, Pat. You've got a lot of ability, and you've shown it here tonight, and you've done a great job for British boxing. Never mind about, never mind about the decision. Well done.
Thanks very much, Harry. I'd like to apologise to all the people back home because I'm not the champion of the world.
No apologies needed. Well done, Pat. Thank you. And so there it is, Pat Cowdell, a loser on a split decision here in Houston, Texas tonight in this huge Astrodome. But what a job he did for British boxing. He didn't win the title, but he put up the fight of his life. He did British boxing proud. That's the story from Houston, Texas, from me now,